kids, it's me, Toni Homeperm, the girl with the pearl earring. Or maybe I'm the drag queen with the pearl earring today. So, of course, I know you're wondering, why is she doing a girl with the pearl earring theme? Well, if you saw my video, the worst palette of 2021, and I will leave a link for that either above or below, possibly both places. My worst palette of 2021 was this one, the Baseblue and Meer, the artistic eyeshadow palette, which featured the girl with the pearl earring. I've caused probably quite a little bit of a stir on social media with my dissatisfaction with this palette. All right, here it is on the inside. When I saw the pictures of it on Instagram, I was really taken with it. I loved the girl with the pearl earring painting. I loved the movie, which starred Scarlett Johansson and Colin Firth, Essie Davis from the Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries. I love her. And I saw this and I was like, it looks really neat. And was I expecting it to be like a drag palette? No, not at all. But did I think I would be able to create a look with it? Yeah, because it's eyeshadow. And in their own promotional pieces, they said it was 7 highly pigmented shades. And I'm sorry, but it's anything but pigmented. It's almost all shimmer. Well, yeah, it is all shimmer. There's no mattes. I thought this blue section up here was going to be like a matte blue, so you can have a little, even though it's small, I thought it would just be a little bit of matte blue eyeshadow. But that is actually just an overspray of blue. So when I swatched that, it just completely came off and left that big hole in the palette. Yeah, that was very disappointing. Now the colors are they're just so sheer. So sheer, and when you put them on, they just blend away to nothing. I really didn't even swatch this. I get that it's sort of decorative. I mean, that gray, at first glance, you think maybe it's pigmented, but then when you put it on, I mean, you can see it's just so sheer, and it just blends away to nothingness. Nothing. Where is it? Where is it? It's gone. It's gone. And that's the darkest shade. That's the darkest shade. So if that's the darkest shade, I don't have to tell you what's happening with the other shades. I've seen a few people do videos and create looks, and really the best that they've come up with is really a wash of color. And I mean, I'm sort of okay with that if that's how it had been presented. But when they say in the advertising that it's highly pigmented shades, and I mean, and you look at it and it looks like it's, I mean, at least with this dark gray and the brown, I thought I would at least be able to get something sort of smoky, but as I showed you, the gray, the darkest color, it blends away to nothingness. It's just gone. And it doesn't bother me that I knew that if I was going to use it, like, it would get, some signs of being rubbed and touched. I don't have a problem with that. Like, even there's, I don't know if it shows up on screen where I swatched it. There's some sort of discoloration now, and I would have been okay with that. I mean, I get it. It's not like shadows that are in pan, but see, look at the brown. It's just nothing. Now, I've seen some videos by some creators, and they were very, very honest about the things that were wrong with the palette. But one thing I didn't get from them was kind of the outrage that I have, because they were gifted to it in PR, and I get it. When you get something in PR, if it's not the greatest thing, it's sort of like, oh well, it's too bad. You know, this wasn't great, that wasn't great. But I spent my hard-earned money on this, and it was $56. I'm not sure. I'll list that for sure in the details down below. But it was over 50 bucks, and I paid for it myself out of my money, and you know, this is what I got. And they said it was highly pigmented, and it's not. Now, I've been thinking about this palette and how disappointed I was with it, and it really irked me. It just bothered me so much, and I was like, isn't there something I can do to sort of like turn this experience around and make a positive experience out of it? And it hit me. I said, you know what? I really wanted a girl with the pearl earring palette. I wanted one that was really nice, that had good eyeshadows in it, and would be something that I could create a look. And I said, okay, I'm gonna make my own girl with the pearl earring eyeshadow palette. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I don't have a lot of single eyeshadows in my collection, so I couldn't really do that. There's quite a few YouTubers who will do that. They will sort of dupe a palette or create their own palette by going into their singles collection and putting them together. But like I said, I don't really have a lot of singles. But I do have quite a few ColourPop palettes, and most of those with the round pans, you can pop those pans out. They're magnetic. So I said, let me go through my palettes that have magnetic pans and pop the pans out and curate my very own girl with the pearl earring eyeshadow palette. Based on my likes and, you know, the colors that I saw in the painting, and put together something that I would be happy with. So I went ahead and did that. I used mostly ColourPop palettes. I did use 2 Menagerie palettes, and this is the palette that I came up with. I'm sorry that it's in a rectangular one. That was the only one that I had available to pop the pans into, but this is it. Looking at the girl with the pearl earring painting, and I'll let me scooch over. I'll throw an image of it up on the screen, and you can see from the image I sort of saw these colors and tones in the original painting, and I felt that this would be a nice representation of the painting, as well as being a color story that I could use for myself, and I think a lot of people could use this color story for a lot of looks, not just a drag look. Again, these are for the most part ColourPop pans, so they're not outrageously expensive or anything like that. Menagerie, that's an indie brand. I pulled those blues. I really don't have any blues from my ColourPop palettes for some reason. I guess most of the ColourPop palettes I've gotten tend to be gray cool tone, and you know, more of their warm tone palettes and things like that. And come to think of it, except for the one blue monochromatic palette and the teal palette, the High Tides, they don't do a lot of blue as far as what I can remember. I think they have like that limoncello palette that has like one blue in it or something, but when I think of ColourPop, I don't really think of blue. Anyway, so this is the color story that I came up with for my own version of the girl with the pearl earring palette, and of course I swatched it. So let me throw the swatches up on the screen, and I'll tell you from what palette each pan came from. Okay, starting from left to right, the first color is a sort of white gold shimmer called Go Wish, and that is from the All I See Is Magic palette. The second color is kind of a taupey matte called Teacup, and that's also from the All I See Is Magic palette. The next one is kind of a bronzy shimmer called Never Never, also from the All I See Is Magic palette. That's the last pan from that palette. Next is Mythosaur from the Mandalorian palette, and it's kind of a cooler, more brown taupe matte, I would call it. Next is the color Vintar, and that's a kind of a burgundy matte, and that's from the Wine and Only palette. Next is a yellow, sort of mustardy matte called Navarro Sand from the Mandalorian palette. Next is Etiquette, which is a gray shimmer, and that is from the Baroque palette. Next to that is kind of a grungy green gray matte called Charmed, and that's from the Just My Luck palette. Oh, and so far these have all been from ColourPop palettes. Next is that sort of light pastel blue, and that's from Menagerie's Pastel Pup palette, and it's called Ice Cap. The next color is that dark matte blue, and that is Breaching from Menagerie's Whale Song palette. And those were the only two from Menagerie. And now we're back to ColourPop. The next color is a charcoal matte called Stunner from the Baroque palette. And last but not least, a sort of gray brown dark matte called Lounge, and that's also from the Baroque palette. I thought I would also show you, I did some video just so you could see how the shimmers look from this palette that I curated. You know, it's ColourPop shimmers. They're not like crazy, super intense, but they're decent. They're decent shimmers. And the reason I used ColourPop for the most part is because they're affordable, and I just wanted to prove a point. You can find shadows that are affordable and have so much more pigment and intensity than what was in the Baseblue palette. Okay, so there were the swatches for my curated Girl with the Pearl Earring palette, and I think you can see it swatches really nice. Like I was saying, ColourPop shadows are really, really good. And also, you know, I've got these two blue Menagerie mattes, and Menagerie eyeshadows are very, very good. But I only included them just because I needed those two colors. Otherwise, I would have, if I could have found corresponding colors in ColourPop palettes, I would have used those. I had hoped to find everything in ColourPop, and maybe I could have emptied out one of my ColourPop palettes and put them all in, and, you know, really would have been nice, and, you know. But what can I say? I had to go with colors that worked for the color story that I was trying to create. So that's why I had to go with those Menagerie ones, which they're square pans, so they're kind of like the oddballs. But I think the color story is the most important thing, and I am really happy with this color story that I feel is a better representation of the Girl with the Pearl Earring painting. Now, just let me say, I've given Baseblue a lot of crap over this palette. Reason being because, you know, I paid for it with my own cash, and I was very disappointed. Now, this is nothing against, you know, the people themselves. I'm sure they're all lovely people. I don't have anything, you know, against the company. It's just this palette. It just really, really disappointed me. So much so that I felt like I had to go out of my way and prove a point and say, no, this is how that palette should have been. This is what this palette could have been if just a little more thought had been put into it. I don't know. I don't know. But that's all I'm trying to say. I love the idea of the girl with the pearl earring as a palette, and I just really wanted it to work. I wanted to love it, and I just couldn't do it. It just didn't do it for me. So unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. But as I say, I created this palette out of pans from my own collection, and I'm really happy with the color story. And this is the look that I created using this palette today. And I think what I'm going to do now is roll the camera back in time and show you how I made this drag with the pearl earring look using my very own girl with the pearl earring palette. Enjoy. Okay, I am back. I glued my eyebrows down. I did my base foundation, drew new eyebrows, primed the eye area with my Revolution Ultimate Eye Base. It's a decent eyeshadow primer and pretty inexpensive. Okay, so my look today, I'm trying to create a look based on the girl with the pearl earring, using this color story that I created, pulling pans mainly from ColourPop. All the little round ones are from ColourPop, and those two blue ones are from two Menagerie palettes. But I definitely want to do something, I think blue and smoky is how I'm feeling with this color story, and I'm just gonna go with that because I think that's the best thing to do. So first things first, I'm just going to sketch out the wing area and the crease because I don't feel like taping. So I think I'm gonna go in with this color. I have them. I broke down in marker what they are on the back, but so I can put them back in the ColourPop palettes and all. But I can't tell you what the color is. I'm not going to take them all out. It's just going to be too much work. I'm sorry, but it's a very dark charcoal color. I didn't go with black for this color story, even though she's surrounded in a lot of darkness. I'm pretty sure if you look at the actual painting, I doubt that it's just black, because these old masters like Vermeer, who painted it, they wouldn't just slap black on. I mean, everything was, tones and shades, and it would be, deep shadows and colors within the darkness and things like that, because they were masters. They were incredible artists. So that's a real mess, but it's fine. It's there's going to be a lot of colors going on top of that, and why am I using this brush? Probably my problem. All right, I'm just going to use a very small pencil brush. Okay, I'm pretty sure this color came from the Baroque palette, which I really like. I just have a thing for those smoky, cool tone palette, like the Blow and Smoke palette. And I actually just ordered one that I saw on Shein, of all places. That was, a sort of a black, gray, silvery, cool tone palette. And I was ordering some outfits that were on sale. And I saw that palette, And I said, let's try it. Let's try it. Okay, so I think that's good as far as the crease and wing area. And now I'm just going to go in with this dark blue from Menagerie. My original idea was that if I had enough pans all from ColourPop, I could have emptied out a 9-pan and put them in, and it sort of would have looked just like a real palette. But I don't really have any blue tones from ColourPop, which I thought was interesting. I think I have just about every other color, but I don't really have any blue. Okay, that looks good. Let me do this same on the other side. Okay, I started going back in with more of that charcoal tone, and I was getting a little fallout, so I just put some powder down. That happens. I can live with that. So for some people, it's like, I guess they can't, but doesn't matter for me. So I'm just going to continue to do, to deepen the blue. I'll go back and do the same on the other side, and we'll be right back after that. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. It's blue, it's smoky, but I think I'm going to blend out the outside edge with this lighter blue, which, I don't know if that color is really in there, maybe in the lightest of lightest parts of the blue. Okay, that's looking good. I'm just going to blend out some more and go back in with probably the deeper blue and just continue to blend and get a nice gradient effect. So be right back after that. Okay, I'm back. I did a lot of blending. I cut my crease with my, this time I went in with my P. Louise because it's a very bright white. I don't know if this is exactly symmetrical, but we'll fiddle with it with the shimmers and make it work. So I think on the outside edge, I'm going to go in with this very dark gray shimmer. This one. There it is there. The Baseblue palette, a lot of the palette is taken up by a dark gray shimmer, but it has no pigment. It just really just blends away to nothing. And I don't care for that. You can see that's pretty pigmented. This is just a ColourPop shadow. It's nothing, nothing outrageous. But yeah, I just wanted a little bit of that on the edge. And then I think all over the lid, I'm going in with the really bright shimmer, this one, right there. Okay, that went on the eyelid really good. So much better than the light shimmer that's in that Baseblue palette. And I just want to sort of blend this light shimmer into that dark gray. Okay, I'm like really happy with this. I'm really happy with this. I wish that I could have gotten a result like this from the other palette. Anyway, I am going to do the same thing that I did here on this eye, and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I did the same thing on the other eye, and it's just a little bit of liner work just for some a little bit of drama. And now I have to smoke out the under eye. And I think what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to use some of this sort of kind of a grungy, greeny color, because it sort of reminds me of what she's wearing. And since that's like on the bottom of the picture, why not put it on the bottom of the eye? I mean, let's just try it and see what happens. That looks good. I may just go in with a little bit of the dark charcoal too, and I'm going to do the same on this side. And really can't believe how quickly this look came together, which I guess is a good sign. So I'm just going to hop off camera. I'm going to finish everything off, and I'm going to come back with my finished girl with the pearl earring drag look. Stay tuned. And we're back. And here it is, my finished girl with the pearl earring drag look. So, what do you guys think? I'm very happy with this look that I created myself from my very own girl with the pearl earring palette that I sort of put together from different palettes that I own in my collection, and put them together in a Z palette, and created this look with it. And I'm really, really happy with this look. I just feel like it's a great drag look, and had I been able to make anything even remotely like this with the Baseblue palette, I would have been pretty happy. So, of course, I should just go ahead and tell you what I did to finish off the look when I went off camera. Of course, there was contouring, highlighting. Let's see, for blush, I used my Bang & Blush palette from Chaotic Cosmetics with the color Guilty. It's a very coral color. On the lip, I have this Huda Beauty liquid lip. This is in the color Trophy White. It's a very sort of rosy nude color, and I just put a little bit of liquid lip in white in the very center, just to ombre. Anything else? Oh yes, for the upper cheek highlight, I went into my own palette that I created, and I used that very light white gold shimmer to do the cheek highlight, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Now, of course, you're wondering, Toni, is this palette that you created yourself, is it drag worthy? Well, yes, of course it's drag worthy. I put together colors that I knew would work to make a look. So, I mean, that's a no-brainer. So, yeah, it's drag worthy. And, of course, it's Toni Home Perm approved, because I really like how this came out. And I have to tell you, if I saw a girl with the pearl earring palette and this was the color story, I'm trying to like only show you the pans, I would have bought this immediately. I mean, I went ahead and I bought the other one because I love the girl with the pearl earring picture. I love the movie. But as you know, I was not happy with that palette. But this, now this, if that palette could have been like this, oh, what a wonderful thing that would have been. It just would have been so wonderful if that palette could have been like this, because I really love how this look came out. And I didn't use every color, of course, but I did use, let's see, I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I used 6 colors, which really for most makeup looks, 6 colors, that's a lot. It's a lot to use 6 colors to create one look. And I loved how this came out. I mean, I could go so many different ways with this palette. I mean, I could have gone burgundy with the blue, or or the burgundy with that yellowish color, or the greenish with the gray, or very neutral with these, but still been able to deepen it. I mean, I think there are a lot of possibilities. There are a lot of looks that you could create with this color story, and so kudos to me for coming up with it. So kids, if you like this video, please hit the like button down below, and if you want to see more videos like this from me, hit the subscribe and the notification bell. This way YouTube can notify you whenever one of my new videos comes out. You can always catch me twice a month on Naughty or Nice with the horror diva Alexis Flame. You can also catch me weekly on my podcast, God'll Get You for That, Walter, that I do with Tom Cat. We review episodes of the 1970s sitcom Maude, which starred B. Arthur, and we discuss the social ramifications and implications, talk about how things were in the 70s, how much things have stayed the same, how much things have changed, and we do it with a lot of laughs and a lot of fun along the way. Don't forget, there is also my Naughty or Nice merch, including the Naughty or Nice eyeshadow palette, and the details for all of those things listed down below. So kids, that's all I have for you today. This is the look that I created, my drag with the pearl earring, using the girl with the pearl earring palette that I created myself out of palettes and pans that I had in my own collection, and I am really happy with this look. I had a lot of fun creating this video and this look, and I can't wait to see all of you again in the next video. Bye-bye.